Hey everyone, and welcome to another video here on A Healthy Dose of Fran. I am joined with a very special guest today to talk all things future Percy Jackson and beyond. Uh, that PGO guy, introduce yourself.
What's up?
So we've just done a collab recently over on that PGO guy's page, just answering all of your questions, and we're going to be doing something fun here. As I said, talking about the future of Percy Jackson, but specifically the future of Percy Jackson adaptations. And it's basically just going to be us theorizing, having fun, and if you disagree with us, I mean you can, but you're probably wrong. So
Yeah, you can
uh,
leave.
just leave.
Hmm.
So we're going to talk first, of course, with the current adaptations that we've got going on, how we think that's all going to go, what we're looking forward to it, etc., etc., etc. So, Percy Jackson, The Lightning Thief, season 1 is in progress. It's probably finishing filming very soon at the point of when this video goes out. How do you think this is all going to look when all of Percy Jackson and the Olympians has been adapted?
Oh, me?
Yeah, go
All
first. I'm
right,
I'm I'm
all
done
right,
with
all
this on
right.
you.
So how do I think it's gonna look like when it's getting adapted? Is that what you said?
Yeah. Like, what sort of things? Like, do you think they're going to cut a bunch of stuff out? Are you thinking it's going to definitely end up being just the 5 seasons that Rick has said, or do you think they may end up having to split some things up?
Um, you know what? That's a very, very good question because I've been wondering this myself. So yeah, I obviously would really like it if they got, in a consistent format. If it was, 5 seasons, so I can just kind of watch them back to back. I'm just wondering, like, they really got to be on top of it though, because if it's not, then these characters are gonna age real. The cast are gonna age very, very, fast. So, because Percy is supposed to be what 16 by the end of the fifth book, and Walker's already 13. So
Mm.
we're getting there 3 more years, and they have to still film a 5 season show. So, I'm not sure what that's gonna look like, but I think they could do it. But yeah, I want to see them go 5 seasons. Obviously, I want to see uh, as much passion and love into the project as they can put into it, because I think that was what was missing from the movies was passion and love for the original source material, and I think we just need a little bit of that, which is what we're getting through Rick being involved, uh, the guy who's playing Percy being a big fan of the books, um, the cast and crew being fans, just all that. I think we're going to need a lot of that in the production, which we are getting. And yeah, uh, I think it's going to be really great, and we have a bright future ahead of us.
Oh yeah, I'm the exact same. I think they're gonna be able to do the 5 seasons. I just don't think they're always gonna stick with the 8 episodes per season. I'm still surprised they're doing 8 episodes for this first season. Like, I don't know how they're gonna do it. To this day, I still think it should have been 10 to really flesh stuff out, but I'm sure they've found a way to do it. But I do think the episode lengths are going to fluctuate a lot, especially for Battle of the Labyrinth, because a lot of stuff happens in that, unless they condense the hell out of it. And then also the same for I think basically the first 2 seasons, so Lightning Thief and Sea of Monsters, is probably going to end up with the same length of episodes. But Titan's Curse, Battle of the Labyrinth, and The Last Olympian are going to fluctuate. So, like, Titan's Curse maybe ends up being 9 episodes, maybe 10. Battle of the Labyrinth probably around the same that, but definitely 10 at least for me. The Last Olympian, I think, could end up being 12 episodes or just being longer episodes if they want to not go above 10. Um, I'm intrigued what you think about that.
Um, for it being the episode list, you mean?
Yeah. Like, do you think the episode length, like how many episodes there could be per season, may change?
You know what? Oh, shoot. I mean, I think they're gonna try their best to keep it 8, but I don't think it's gonna happen, just because the way how the story goes, it changes from like this more episodic kind of thing of like adventures to a more consistent story, I feel. So I'm not sure. It had been kind of, I'm not sure if it's confirmed, but somebody said it, where they're going to be around 40 minutes, the episodes, which is
Mm.
delicious. Thank you for that amount of time. 40 minutes per episode, fam. That's like almost, that's over 300 minutes. That's crazy. Um, yeah, so we're getting a lot. I don't know. I think it's definitely a possibility. It wouldn't matter as long as they tell it the story in the way that they believe would be, you know, best told. So if it's changed up, it doesn't really matter to me as long as it's still good.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the main thing. Like, there's definitely some stuff that I kind of want them to keep, but there's also a lot of stuff that I would like them to change slightly, which they seem to kind of be doing already. Like, we've got Hermes and Hephaestus in this first
Ooh.
season already confirmed, and they weren't in it originally. They were like name dropped, but they weren't. Hermes makes a lot of sense to me because like Luke flashbacks make sense. Hephaestus, I'm very surprised by. I'm intrigued to see how that's gonna go. Like, are we just gonna get a small cutaway to him to do with the, the the love ride that
Yeah,
Percy and Hermes end
that's
up
what I was
on?
thinking.
Yeah, or is it going to be like he's there at Olympus and makes a? I don't know. I don't know what's going to be, but I'm intrigued to see how it ends up. I was just really surprised when they announced his casting. I was like, really?
Hey,
Okay.
Leo's dad. Leo's dad. All right. I don't mind getting a little reveal. Let's go.
I was going to say no. Beckendorf's dad first.
Oh yeah, Beckendorf too. Oh man, yo, Beckendorf. Uh, what was his name? The other leader. I forgot his name now.
Oh,
There
the
was
one
another
that's
leader.
in the bed all bandaged
Yeah,
up.
yeah, 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 yeah. Him.
I
His
don't
name was
remember his name either. I feel like it was something like Michael.
something like that. No, no, Michael was the other guy, though. Apollo Cabber.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Other
but they did have a
Michael
lot of
Yu.
Michaels. That's a lot of Michaels.
And then yeah, then there was Leo after, and then we got Haley. Or was it Haley? No, no, no. I think. Anyways, forget my comment. I forget who is part of the Hephaestus cabin. Um, yeah, so you get to. I like that aspect. I think we get to see. It's really cool that we get to see these gods beforehand, especially fucking Lin Manuel Miranda as Hermes. Jeez, man, that's a big casting there. That was holy crap.
Yeah.
Uh, I think that's really cool. I mean, I I remember when people were talking about with the movies how you know movies are garbage, but they liked Nathan Fillion as Hermes because like Nathan Fillion's like a living legend in like his career. So I think it's
Mm.
funny how we got another legend to play Hermes again. So
Oh yeah.
like it's just whoever plays Hermes is always a legend apparently.
I'm intrigued as to see who's going to end up playing Poseidon and Zeus, because obviously
Oh
in the
God,
movies as well, they were quite big actor names also. Um,
Hermes, Poseidon. Oh God, whoever plays that role is just gonna get destroyed by the poor internet
oh
because they're
God.
not Logan Lerman. Oh my God,
Ugh,
just
let it
watch.
go. He's a child in comparison to how Poseidon is meant to be. Shush.
And like I get it too. I would also want Logan Lerman to play as Poseidon. I think that'd be really cool because I like Logan Lerman. But guys, if it's not Logan Lerman, accept it and move on and just enjoy and give the guy a break. Give him a support. Tell him yeah you're Poseidon. You're the Poseidon, bro. Let him get into the role because if we're supportive, that's how we got the show in the first place. And we just being supportive about having a show. Be supportive to this guy, man. He'll do a good job.
Yes, seconded. Um, but yeah, I'm intrigued just to see how the show as a whole is going to go, because like there's already been, in a sense, a lot of changes, like characters being introduced earlier than they were before. So it's going to be interesting to see how it goes from here and what else is going to happen later on. But for the other adaptation that we do have at the moment that is ongoing, even though it's a little bit slow, but as I learned, films are very different to TV. Film adaptations take a lot longer than TV show adaptations, which I did not know. Um, we've got the Netflix Kane Chronicles movies being adapted, and I believe currently the screenplay is in its final look over or is being looked over by the chosen director who has not yet been named. So it's slowly chugging along, but it's coming. And it's going to be 3 movies, hopefully, if the first one does all right. Um, and I am intrigued as to see how this is going to go. I was surprised that they were movies. I will say that. But I can see the potential for them. I feel like they, because it's magic, they maybe went movies because Harry Potter. But who knows? How are you feeling about the Kane Chronicles Netflix adaptation?
You know, obviously so excited. And when I say this, right, like, okay, and it really, like, I got reminded a few days ago about just how great Kane Chronicles was. So I was like printing out this picture I made for my class. I did like a Percy Jackson picture for
Mm.
photography, and I was printing it out, and the person comes up to me and is like, "Oh, is that Kane Chronicles?" I was like, "It's not Kane Chronicles. It was Percy Jackson." But like the fact that it's such a like Kane Chronicles is still out there, man. Like people know of it, and it's still loved, even just like randomly. I'm like, "What the hell, Kane Chronicles, really?" So I'm super pumped for Kane Chronicles to come out. I think a lot of people also are excited to see that. Um, Rick is also backing up the project again. Very good. Always down because he should have a say in these projects.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, Kane Chronicles. I mean, there's not much to say of it right now. We haven't been getting as much news from it like Percy Jackson, but I mean, whoever has read Kane Chronicles, you'll know how good of a story it is, how good the effects are in it, how good the characters are. It's a clean story, man.
Oh yeah.
Just wait till it comes out, and then we can all bond about it together.
Oh yeah. I think what's going to be interesting about the Kane Chronicles is like how it's going to be broken up because like even though there's like a lot of story there, I don't know if audiences would stay engaged with it for like a 2 hour film. I feel like it's going to be one of those things that kind of goes back to like the older years of like an hour and a half long movie or an hour and 20 movie. Um, I don't know why I think that, but I think
It
that's
is
kind of
very episodic. I agree with that.
yeah, and I think there's just ways in which it can be broken up. And there are many, it's similar with Percy Jackson in general. Like, there are things about Kane Chronicles that can be cut out for time that aren't necessary to, like, the specific story beats. And I feel like Kane Chronicles itself is probably more likely to receive the cutting of story elements than Percy Jackson because it's in film format. Because, like, you don't have as much room to add in these things as you do with a TV series. So I think it's going to end up being more streamlined, which may end up with it being, not the usual, like what people were expecting these days of 2 hour long movies, and it instead be an hour and a half, hour and 20. So, like, the sort of more normal length of like what quote unquote kids' movies are.
Fast freaking movie.
Yeah,
Like zoom past
absolutely.
that. Like it's like, oh shit, we're at the museum. Oh shit, my father died. Oh shit, we're magicians now.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope we get a decently paced uh, movie out of it. I agree with that. That, like, the fact that it's going to be a movie and not a show will be a little bit more hard to swallow. But I mean, Rick was the one that did suggest to make it into a movie, so
Mm.
I think, at least because he was back in the project. So if he thinks he can do it, then you know what? I like to always give artists their chance, especially when it's their work, right?
Yeah.
To let them uh, do what they want with it, because, like, we got all these awesome books from him. So I would hope that the adaptations that he has a part in making would also be just as fire. So
Mm. I'd also be intrigued as to whether or not they'll film all 3 movies in succession, considering like the 3 stories take place in under a year. So
all three
like
movies.
yeah, well, all 3 books are like take place in under a year because like the first book is Christmas in say I think it's like meant to be like 2011, and then the second book is like March or April of the next year, so like only a couple of months later, and then the finale is in that summer. So
Right.
it's all under a year. And so obviously they don't age in that period of time because it's less than a year. So I wonder if they'll end up like filming it all in succession or extending the story a little bit. So it's like the lead up to Apophis, eating the wild thing doesn't happen as quickly. Like there's a little bit more delay to these things. Because I think that would be interesting. Like I wouldn't be opposed to the story being, in a sense, elongated in terms of timeline. But if they didn't, I would kind of hope that they would film them all in succession so the actors don't age very quickly. Because I mean, Sadie's 12/13, Carter's 14/15. Those age groups age quick.
You know what I want? You know what I want? Just, if you're hearing this, Rick, not feature films, feature film. Just one big, gigantic movie of the three Kane Chronicles. So I don't have to wait a year in each year to for the suspense. Just one big fucking movie. All right. So that I get to just digest the entire thing because it's never going to happen. But, a guy can dream. Can very much dream.
Well, hey, if they film it all in succession, you won't have to wait as long because they're all being edited around the same time.
There you
So you,
go. I
yeah,
just solved the problem. Look
yep,
at that. The
yeah.
video's done, guys. It's over. Like and subscribe.
I think they'll probably do something similar for the Percy Jackson show as well. To like what you were saying before. Like I don't think they'll want the kids to age out too quickly. So maybe not long after they finish filming season one, they'll start
Yeah.
filming season two.
It's going to be probably back to back in a way like that.
Yeah, like it wouldn't surprise me. I feel like that's a possibility, like a big possibility. But we shall see. But let's move into the thing that we don't know that much about, because now we can really get into what we really want, which is the Heroes of Olympus adaptation that could maybe possibly happen in the future when all 5 seasons of Percy Jackson are finished. So we're going to be discussing medium, how we want it to be done, and just other stuff. Do you want to go first?
You go first. Take the
Okay.
center stage.
All right. Okay, so Heroes of Olympus. I want it to be 5 movies but animated because
But you're about to get so banned off the internet.
they've tried a lot. So
Five
if
movies animated. Holy crap.
5 animated movies, and the reason why they have to be animated to me is because Heroes of Olympus takes place. All 5 books take place in a year and a half, and they're all meant to be 16, 17, and age no further. If they do it in live action, even if it was a TV show, there's a lot of aging that's going to be happening between that when they're still meant to be staying 16, 17. I mean, just look at the Stranger Things cast at the moment. It's so ridiculous because, like, the actress who plays 11. 11 is still meant to be 14, 15. And Millie Bobby Brown is 21. No. Is
Yeah.
she? Yeah, she's 21, isn't
It's a
she?
Percy Jackson movie situation all over again here.
Yeah. They're going to end up looking so much older than they're meant to be playing. So doing animation is going to solve that problem. And also, considering they have to travel the Atlantic, considering that they have giants that they have to fight, and then Mother Earth bursting out of the earth to fight them in the final battle in Blood of Olympus, doing that animated is firstly going to take the strain off of special effects artists who are already overworked in general, but also guarantee that any special effects that could have been rushed, because we've been seeing that with Marvel recently, like a lot of special effects are looking a little bit rough because the special effects artists are being overworked a lot. With animation, you don't have that risk. It's all going to look exactly as it needs to and have that effect. And technically, you could do it in a way that kind of makes things look a little bit more realistic. So, like Into the Spider-Verse style animation, Studio Ghibli style animation, like there's or Arcane style animation. Like there's lots of different possibilities you can do. They can still have them. Arcane and Into the Spider-Verse, I think, will probably be the best ones because you can model the characters of the actors that you have. So imagine like arcane style animation, but for Leah, who's playing Annabeth. Like, you've already got her facial features, you've got how she would look at that age. You just kind of put that in to the animation sphere and model it when you are sorting out how it works. So the characters in animation form can still look like live action characters and look like their live action counterparts in the previous adaptation. You then just don't have to worry about them aging too quickly. Their voices may change, but they're teens, especially for boys, their voice is going to change anyway. But it won't feel as weird seeing a 21, 23-year-old Walter and Walter Walker and Leah
You and
playing
Rick, man,
16-year-olds.
both calling Walker Walter.
I know. I hated myself.
I won't ever forget his name because it's just such a special name. I don't know anybody named Walker. I never heard of anybody named Walker, so like I never forget his name. Um, okay, as for me on Heroes, honestly, like I okay, I have preferences obviously, but as the main underlying factor here is as long as I get Heroes, then and it's done well, then I'd be really happy because I just like Heroes of Olympus. It's one of my favorites, if not my favorite. It has my favorite characters. It has some of the craziest plot lines and stories, and it just goes so hard. The story, I love it. So as long as I get it in some sort of fashion, then I'd be cool with it. Um, I agree with what you said about how if they do live action, then the special effects artists are not getting paid enough for that shit. No way in hell. Like you watch animations like at least recently what I've been seeing is stuff like from Demon Slayer from the anime or like even Mappa animations. I promise you those animators don't get paid shit for the stuff they do for those shows. Oh my god, it's beautiful work. So um yeah, I don't know. I think like I said I'm cool with either. I'd like it. It'd be nice to have live action for the consistency, but I'd also like to have animation because um, I do really like the arcane styles and the Into the Spider Verse styles. They're very like they're very modern styles, and they're very like they're just so cool to look at. So I think that whole um, animation style and I think it'd be better for the actors, be better for probably the special effects artists. Yeah, I guess it just depends on Disney and if they change their ways of actually paying their workers and actually doing the stuff. I think realistically, though, if they're going to do Heroes live action, then it'd probably have to be changing the ages of the characters. There's no way I can see around that. If they really want to go with live action, they
Mm,
got to change the ages of the characters. They got to be older. There's no way in hell they can do it any other way.
yeah.
It's impossible to film a year show 5 years through it. So
Yeah. Unless they
I'm not saying
expand
I
the
want that,
story. That's a
but if they're gonna
possibility
do
as
live
well.
action, that's gonna happen. No way in
Yeah.
hell. So yeah, Heroes is gonna be hard to film, but the one good news is that Rick did say that he would be interested to do Heroes after Percy Jackson. So well, he didn't
Mm.
specifically say that. Don't take my word on that, but he was like kind of giving little hints that it'd be he wouldn't mind it through like some things he said online. So um, yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one with Heroes. I guess we're just gonna have the answer for Heroes is just wait and see what happens. What time will tell, right?
Mhm.
Maybe we have no idea. Maybe special effects will will go down in price over the years. Maybe the 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 volume stage they're using will decrease prices, and that'll also help for the future. Who knows? I don't know. There's too much to consider. It's a whole business thing, but as it stands, my whole opinion, I just want Heroes of Olympus because I like Heroes of Olympus. Simple as that.
Awesome. I guess on to Magnus Chase. Technically, Magnus Chase and Trials of Apollo kind of go in the same vein, but we'll go with Magnus Chase first. If we got a Magnus Chase adaptation, what medium, what form, what do you want with it?
Magnus Chase. What medium? What form? Um, Magnus Chase. That's a good one. I haven't really thought of that. Do you have one in mind, and I can go after, or do
um,
you?
the only
Because I
film
want
that
to
I
think
can
about it
think
for a
of.
sec.
No, no, you're all good. So Magnus Chase, I also think, mm, I think Magnus Chase would be good as live action films, which I feel like is going to surprise people because I think a lot of people have been talking about a TV show for Magnus Chase, which like there is potential for it, but Magnus Chase is definitely a lot more streamlined of a story that I think it could work as three sets of films. I think a TV show is an out of the question. Um, I just feel like films kind of work a little bit better for a story. I don't fully know why my brain is saying that, but it is. But live action, I do actually think would work for Magnus, and also we'd have Leah and Walker turning up in it, which would be cool to see them in like another live action medium, but in a film instead.
Um, okay. So for me, now I think about it a little bit more. I actually agree with the idea that I think it should be probably live action. Not it should be, but I want it to be because
Mm.
I've been watching a shit ton of God of War lately, and they're in like the Norse mythology and stuff. And bro, that shit would look so cool live action. Not even capping. The whole just environments of the Norse, and then the realm travels, and what's it called? Everything that Magnus does with like Hotel Valhalla. I
Mm.
am worried more about the gore of it since they're like chopping off heads in like Hotel Valhalla, and I know it's funny because they don't care because they don't die, but it's a little bit like, oh shit, is this gonna be a kids show? So
Yeah, I
um,
wonder if it'd be like like kind of
maybe they'll
like
like cut away from it as soon as like they go
yeah,
for the
or just
head
have like
chop.
no blood, just like
Maybe that would probably because it's a magical world, right? Like
yeah,
anything could be possible.
mm,
Um, so yeah, I think just strictly based on the visuals um, and just the world of Norse myth, I think it'd be really cool if they did it live action. But I mean, it's Magnus Chase. If we got Magnus Chase at all, I would be happy. It's like you know what I mean. Like nothing has been announced for Magnus Chase yet, which is good because there shouldn't be since it happens a lot into the future.
yeah, like
Um,
Annabeth's got to be 16, 17.
yeah, so we're gonna have to wait for that to actually happen. But I do hope we get Magnus Chase. Magnus Chase is worthy of getting an adaptation.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Very true. And obviously, because we're talking distant future, Trials of Apollo. For me, exact same format as Heroes of Olympus.
animated.
Movies, but animated.
Then you want to further elaborate on that, or just like same kind of same kind of thing for heroes?
It's just kind of the same thing for Heroes, just because it takes place and again like over in 1 year basically.
Yeah,
That like it's the only thing that kind of works. But also like the amount of fantastical elements, like it's gonna be super special effects heavy. That I just feel like maybe like you said earlier, like the technology when that happens, which will probably be like 30 years from now,
yeah,
could have changed a lot. But I think Trials of Apollo, just because there's a lot more comedy in Trials of Apollo, like obviously there's still the grief related moments, but there is also a lot more comedy, I feel, in Trials of Apollo as a whole. Like the sort of slapstick level of humor that I think works well in animation because there's lots of that almost like comic based humor that I think will translate better into animation than it will into live action. I'm just thinking like how like Avatar: The Last Airbender, for example, has like the cartoonish related reactions to like dumb things. It looks better in that and isn't always the easiest to translate live action wise. It can be done, but I just think it would just look better animated than it will in live action. Because like I'm just trying to think of when they did Jungle Book and they had Scarlett Johansson as the giant snake. I mean
yeah.
that didn't look great. Like I can
You
only
watch that in the
imagine Rob
theaters.
Python like yeah, no, like it's not a bad movie, but like I don't think, obviously technology difference, but like just going off what we know now, if they did Pythion in that look, he wouldn't look scary. And I think also animation will help with the fear aspect because there's a lot of like horrible stuff that happens in Trials of Apollo. Like
Jason.
Jason, like the cutting off of hands, Apollo drowning his boyfriend. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of dark stuff that won't feel as dark in animation form. Like it will still be terrible, but like the impact of
It'll
it
feel
won't
more
be
like a
as,
caricature of it instead of
yeah,
so it's not as brutal. You're trying to say.
yeah. It won't look as brutal in animation form. Like obviously, animation can, like, look at Arcane. Brutality can be made to look brutal in animated form, but it doesn't have to be. I think
Right.
that's something they'll be able to do well in animation for Trials of Apollo. Like the brutality elements can still look brutal, but in a way that is still okay for younger audiences.
I feel so bad for the kids that are like gonna be watching in the future. They're like they just start off from Percy Jackson, like, oh, keep going, keep going. They go up to Trials of Apollo and just Apollo's choking out, like that, dying in the bathtub. Bro, I'm
It's
not
like,
ready for that day. Kid gets
Mommy, why is
traumatized.
he hurting him?
Like at least when you're reading the book, like you're kind of like you're growing with it in a way, but like with the show, it's just you're just back to back.
Yeah.
So um,
Oof.
yeah, I guess for me, I think I think Trials of Apollo has to be animated for the reason of Meg. Meg is
Yeah.
12 and she turns 13 in 1 year. No way in hell you can do that through de-aging or whatever. No way. Not
Mm.
possible. I don't see it happening. Unless they completely change Meg, which they're not gonna do. I hope they don't do. But like they have to do it. Meg is no, you can't. Like you can't. Meg is not gonna be able to look the age she is by the end of the series
Mm.
through live action. So yeah, I don't think it's possible. I mean, it'd be nice if we can get a consistent live action, thing, but it's just with the series how it's structured and how Rick structures it later on. It's I don't know, man. I don't know. Only time will tell, but that's probably my final answer. Animation for Trials.
Awesome. I think that we basically just covered all of the series right here, right now. I think only bonus bit here is short stories. I would like them to just be mini short films, like 20-minute, maybe even less than
Like
that, of just,
Demigod Diaries,
yeah,
uh, the the hope that maybe the standalones, if we ever get that far in the future, are gonna be like
mm.
so old. Be
Like the
so old
Diary of
by then.
Lucas Stellan. Oh my god, that'd be so cool to get.
Which one?
The Diary of Lucas Stellan.
Oh
So like
yeah, the Diary of Luke from
that'd
when
be
he's a little
so
kid.
cool as just like a mini short film,
The
like
Sword
no
of
longer than 20
Hades.
minutes.
The Sword of Hades would be really cool. I like the Sword of Hades.
Yeah. Or just
Um,
these small little things, but like have them released like during the breaks of Percy Jackson and the Olympians, because obviously all of those are set during that period of time, except for the Lucas Stellan one, which is like a prequel. But just so we're getting like mini content every so often,
right.
I
It
think
kind
that
of
should be really cool.
it would fall under that Marvel Disney aspect of having like crossovers and like multiple little side things to watch before the
Yeah,
big main thing. So it falls under that category. Yeah.
yeah. Sort of like the Groot stuff, like how they've been having those mini episodes of Groot.
Right.
But like that for Percy Jackson, where they're just like lots
Or
of
like
mini episodes
or the
covering
new
different
like Guardians
books.
of the Galaxy holiday special kind of thing.
Yeah, stuff like that. I think that'd just be really cool. Just like one-off little small things, not too long, not too short, just covering the mini parts of short stories.
All right. Anything else you want to add? Because there's
I'm
something I
very
want to
excited.
add.
Oh, go for it, go for it.
So I was thinking about this, and I'm not sure, but I would really want it. I'm still not sure though. I know Netflix is taking Kane and Disney's taking Percy Jackson, but it's not uncommon to see crossovers between multiple companies. Do
Mm.
you think that we can get a side story, the three little side stories of Netflix, of the Kane Chronicles of Percy Jackson, and then that maybe Netflix and Disney can come to a fucking agreement for once, and so we can get just a fire trilogy? What do you think?
Demigods and magicians. I would love for that to happen. I mean, technically, they did collaborate once when we had Marvel Netflix with like Daredevil, Jessica Jones, and all that sort of stuff. I mean, they
Yeah,
could possibly come to a mini agreement.
like what they was Spider-Man too.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true. So I could see them coming to an agreement, and they just both host them. That'd be the problem, though. Their argument of like who will have it on, or if they'll both have it on
I
with
think
their
it'd be fine if
needs.
they can both have it.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, why not, right? Like share the revenue. I mean, for me, it'd just be like share the revenue, share the on your streaming service, whatever. But just create a fire trilogy, please. Like I really like Demigods and Magicians. It is so underrated. No one knows about it. No one talks about it.
well,
But
yeah,
I think it's so good, especially the ending. The last book, I really like that book. So much characterization for Percy. Got a lot of great dialogue from all the four, and it's like the introduction of how Percy knows about and Annabeth know about the Kane Chronicles world.
mm,
It needs to be done. So
yes,
I'm thinking if
yes.
if the series get big and the Kane Chronicles thing get big, they're gonna just smell money and it's gonna come their way. That's what I'm hoping for that.
Oh yeah, I've got every finger, toe, everything crossed because I would really like that as well. That would be so cool.
But yeah, that's what I have to add.
Yeah, it was a good addition. But I think we basically covered everything now, like what mediums you would like, all that sort of stuff. We've got like Rick. You are welcome to take our ideas. Just bring us into
The studio.
the production room. Like have PGO guy, maybe work with cinematographers, and I can be in the writers' room.
It's absolutely just like we just mess up the whole show for us being there. We just walk in, yo, what's up? Our set now, son.
We came up with the ideas. We get to be involved. Get us in the room. This is it. This is our chat about the future of Percy Jackson adaptations. Thank you for coming on, PGO guy. I very much appreciate it.
Appreciate being here. Thank you
Uh,
for being a part of my little video too. Yeah. Uh, I don't know. I don't really got any follows. Like I said, just check out my channel. I make cool
yeah,
videos.
all linked below, everyone. And yeah, this has been a lot of fun. Let us know your thoughts on what you would like adaptation wise for the future in the comments down below. And subscribe to both of our channels because we're both really cool. Um,
I am not. I'm not.
you're Canadian, that's cool enough.
You're
Um,
right. Automatically cool. Go subscribe to
automatically
me because I'm
cool.
Canadian. Nothing else. We're
Yes,
patriotic here.
yes. You get free maple
Really not.
syrup
We're really
every time
not.
you subscribe. That's the thing, right?
Yeah, you'll get a cookie every time you subscribe. I promise. It'll show up on your door
Awesome. All right, bye everyone.
later.